General Motors recently announced that they are killing off 6 vehicle models. The Cadillac CT6, the Cadillac XTS, the Buick LaCrosse, the Chevrolet Cruze, the Chevrolet Impala, and the Chevrolet Volt. Today in the Fast Lane we are discussing what this means for Chevrolet and Chevrolet trucks. Now for the purpose of this video we are focusing on Chevrolet. Not only are they the largest division of GM, they also have the widest product offering with vehicles in just about every segment. So let's look at the Chevrolet cars that are going away. We have the Volt, the Impala, and the Cruze. Now these numbers are all public. They are presented by General Motors because they are a publicly traded company, and they were compiled by goodcarbadcar.net. And I've gone ahead and chosen the figures that I think are most relevant to today's topic. So let's look at the year-to-date sales of the Chevrolet Volt. Just 13,243 units. Now for reference, the best total year of Volt sales was in 2016 with 24,739 units. So Volt is not necessarily a big seller for General Motors in terms of volume. If we look at the Chevrolet Impala, the year-to-date sales are 43,952 cars. Now for reference, the biggest year for the Chevrolet Impala in recent history was in 2008 when Chevrolet sold 265,840. Now judging by the year-to-date sales of just 43,952, GM is going to be a long way off of that high figure of 265,000 in 2008. And a similar story is with the Cruze, which sold 109,662 units as of the end of third quarter, and the best year for the Cruze was in 2014 with 273,000 cars sold. So once again, General Motors is a long way off of beating the best ever Cruze year. Now these numbers are great and all, but what do they mean in relation to the rest of the Chevrolet product line? Now Chevrolet reports all Silverados as one vehicle, so this number here accounts for 1,500, 2,500, and 3,500 Silverados. Year-to-date sales are 423,403, which is a huge number of trucks sold. If we combine the year-to-date sales of all the vehicles that are going away, the Volt, the Impala, and the Cruze, you still have well less than half the total sold units of Silverado. Chevrolet also sold 104,838 Colorados this year. It's a similar story when you look at the SUV lineup that Chevrolet offers. Chevy sold 234,381 Equinoxes this year and over 100,000 Traverses as well. But why does any of this matter? After all, if GM sold over 100,000 Chevrolet Cruzes this year alone, why are they getting rid of it? Well, this number up here may have something to do with it. J.D. Power and LMC Automotive recently published their November forecast of average transaction price for trucks and SUVs and compared it to two cars. We can see that their forecast on average for trucks and SUVs is significantly higher than that of cars. Almost $9,000 higher in fact. And this makes a lot of sense. The Cruze is a very affordable car. It comes in typically in the low 20s and you can get them even in the high teens. Compare that to the Chevrolet Silverado that start in the 30s realistically and can go upwards of $60,000, $70,000. It would make sense that General Motors is earning much higher revenues through the sale of trucks than of cars, especially small cars like the Cruze. And then there's this figure right here. Chevrolet has sold over 1.5 million vehicles total in the United States through quarter 3. Let's see what the breakdown is for the vehicles that are going away compared to trucks and crossovers. Now this is where it gets really interesting. If we add up the total sales of the 3 Chevrolet models that are going away, we find that number to be 166,857 units. This includes, of course, the Volt, the Impala, and the Cruze. Now if we take that number and factor it into the total number of Chevrolet vehicles sold through quarter 3, 1,504,038, we find the percentage of the total vehicles sold this year to be just 11.09%. Just 11% of US Chevrolets sold this year were a Volt, an Impala, or a Cruze. When you look at this figure, it starts to make sense why they're going away. Now let's look at crossovers and SUVs. These vehicles include the Trax, the Equinox, the Traverse, the Tahoe, and the Suburban. We'll go ahead and do the same thing, add the year-to-date sales up, and we find that number to be 528,652 units sold here in the United States, of course. Factor that into the 1.5 million total Chevys sold, and that comes out to be 35.15% of US Chevrolet sold this year are SUVs and crossovers. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Let's take a look at trucks. So Chevrolet trucks means Silverados, 1500, 2500, 3500, and Colorado. If we add those models up, we find the sales figure to be, as of this year, 528,241 trucks. That's roughly 400 units away from the SUV sales, and that encompasses 35.12% of new Chevrolet sold in the United States as of this year. 35% is just Silverado and Colorado. Pretty remarkable. Of course, the remainder of this percentage is down to the other cars that Chevrolet builds. That, of course, is like the really small stuff, the Sonic and the Spark, and of course the Malibu, which is quite popular. So what does this all mean for Chevrolet trucks? Well, what I think it means is that we're going to start to see a lot more new models and a lot more variation. And that is largely down to, once again, this number up here. The average GM transaction, not just Chevrolet, but GM transaction is $35,974. And this is a number I imagine General Motors wants to increase as much as possible. And that means selling more and more trucks, if you really think about it. Chevrolet's truck breakdown is already 35% of their total vehicles sold. And I imagine that in the future we're going to see new trucks, we're going to see more trucks, SUVs, crossovers. It's also a matter of consumer taste. You guys love buying crossovers and SUVs, as these numbers indicate over here, and it looks like it's going to stay like that, at least for a little while. We've got the new Blazer coming, that's already been announced. And this is just Chevrolet. This is not GMC or Cadillac or Buick. So be sure to stay tuned to TFLtruck.com for the latest and greatest in everything GM trucks. As always, I'm Tommy. Thank you so much for watching.